Heavenly Father, we'd like to take this opportunity to pause and thank you for all that we have on a daily basis. We're especially grateful today as we look outside and we finally get to see the sunshine and things begin to dry out. The spring's finally arrived. We are appreciative every day of what we have and the country that we live in. We pray for today that you will guide the decision, that you'll bless the employees of the county and those that choose to be involved, and for everyone that we serve. As always, we ask forgiveness for sins and our shortcomings, and just want to praise your name on a daily basis. In Christ's name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lance, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Pitts.
Here.
Commissioner Toler.
Here.
Commissioner Foster. Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Gould.
Having a quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. First thing, we have approval of minutes for the regular board meeting on April 12th. Everybody had a chance to look at those and they're sent out to you. Any questions or corrections? Move the approval. Second.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yes.
Commissioner Toler.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Public comments, anything this morning so far? Committee reports.
I had a county development meeting. There's still energy assistance money available until the end of May. They said that in 2,985 applications so far. So there is money still available.
Just a side note, I met with Mayor Vanna briefly this week, and I know what was going around is David and Kent's area on animal control, but as soon as they seek to move forward, he's ready to try to go ahead and move on the land out there as far as new animal control shelter and so forth. He feels like they've got it worked out and so forth, so we'll see. Also, Angie, can we get approval on a grant this past for the sheriff's office on the radio?
Oh, yes, from ICRMT, our insurance carrier. They do a 50-50 grant for up to $10,000 for anything that can help safety-wise, to improve our safety. So the sheriff applied for body armor for our security guards, and it was approved. So he's going to go ahead and go through with that purchase, and so we should be getting that grant for them.
I might say, too, keep Dale Foster in your thoughts. He was in an accident this past week, that's why he's not here. Got rear-ended. He's doing okay, right, pretty much, or
I think he's
Still
been okay, but he's
still having some problems?
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Building permits.
Kevin had to leave. He has an emergency road repair, but we have several. The first one is for parcel number 0514031995A on 390 Murphy School Road in Anna. Ed and Sheila Plott. It's for a pole barn, no subdivision, no floodplain, recommended for approval. The second one is for parcel 0307014339A2. It's 3820 Christian Chapel Road for Kristen Tite. It's a pole barn, no subdivision, no floodplain, recommended for approval. The third one is for parcel number 0605043592. 3635 Wood Road. It's for a David Teskey, a home garage, previously subdivided, no floodplain, and recommended for approval. And the fourth one is a little bit different. It's for a building permit. It's for a demolition. There was a house that burned down, and insurance companies require this before they'll settle. So it's for property number 051803272, Bradley and Melissa Doody. And yeah, like I said, it's just for a demolition of the house.
Any other questions on any of those? Get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
County finances, we're about to get that lined out. We've got the audit pretty well over, and Angie and Lee are working on that as far as the new type of report and so forth. We should have that before too long. Have nothing under old business, new business, approval of bills. Everybody had a chance to look at the bills. Anybody have any questions? I'll say
Commissioner Pitts,
yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
We have one request from Hotel Operators and Occupancy Tax Board for the Annabelle Festival. It's from the Union County Chamber of Commerce. They're asking for $500. The cost that they will endure for this festival is approximately $1,000. Had a chance to look that over. Anything you need to know about it?
No, I knew it was coming at the last presentation that the chamber had, so good that for you.
Any questions? I get a motion to approve the $500.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Pitts, Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Next on the agenda is a resolution appointing commissioners to the Lick Creek Public Water District. I think last meeting we approved one person for that board. There's 2, 4, 6 more that we have to approve. They've all agreed to be on the board and contribute to it. Ken Kennan, Jeremy Roach, Mervyn Lentz, Rosemary Cates, John Melfi, and Ronald Spurlock. I'll make a motion that we appoint these people to the Lick Creek Public Water District.
I'll second.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Next on the agenda, we have an employment agreement for Tammy Robinson, supervisor of assessments. Our contract is, when is it?
May 10th.
May 10th. I feel like Tammy has done a great job. We're proud to have her. Want to continue to work with her. This contract is basically the same as we have done with other employees that the board appoints and approves. It's a 4-year contract. With a 2% wage increase each year, just like the others. Anybody have any questions or?
Hey, Max. There is an error in this contract that I need to fix if you guys want to approve it with this one change. When I drafted, I put her 12 sick days accrue at a rate of 8 hours a month, but I forgot that Tammy's on a 35-hour work week, so it should say 7 hours a month. It's the same as what it was before, and then I'll change it on the version
Everybody
afterwards.
in agreement with that? Everything? I'll make a motion to approve this contract for Tammy for a 4-year extension. Second.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Last thing on the audit is reimbursement for filing tax forms. We've discussed this in the past, different times. This is referring to IMRF, which is a retirement from county employees. We had an audit done on this account, and it was switched over from the county clerk to HR. HR discovered this and requested the audit. It basically is voluntary additional contributions to IMRF from employees if they so choose. These are taxed after tax, if you understand what I'm saying. And it's required by MRF and the IRS to correct these mistakes. They were made by the previous IMRF agent and county clerk. I might add, not intentionally, it was human error. The board nor anyone here had any knowledge of this going on until this audit was complete. We have sent out, or HR has sent out letters to the individuals. There was 13 involved total. This goes from 2015, 16, and 17. There were 6 employees impacted in 2016, 6 in 2015, and a total of 13 for 2017. It has been corrected on the latest filings. What we need to discuss basically is how we want to handle this. Understanding that it's not the county's fault. However, it was made through a county employee. The sheet there in front of you gives you some ideas what we discussed. A couple people have already refiled their taxes with this, and the amount on the tax preparation to refile them is varying from $95 to $110. Well, actually, a little less than 95 so far. I personally feel that, and again, I repeat, actually, we're not responsible for this, but in the same breath, I feel like we need to engage with the employees on this. One idea is to, if they go to their tax prep person, bring us a paid receipt, that we will allow, we have to set an amount here, and the suggestion is from $95 to $110 a a couple of them already have. Like I say, we know kind of how it's going on cost of it. Obviously, if they do it themselves, we're not giving them $95, but, pay for that expense. As far as the taxes that they will owe, that's going to vary depending on the circumstance. Those taxes, I feel, are not our responsibility because they would have had to pay them anyway if this was done correctly. So it's unfortunate, yeah, we've got to do it all at once here, but I don't feel like that's our obligation. And then third, we have talked to the IRS, and obviously they will probably impose a penalty and interest on everyone, including the county on our portion. We have no guarantee, but they have indicated to us that if we write an appropriate letter discussing this, reasons for and why we shouldn't be penalized and so forth, the odds are pretty good that they'll drop the penalties and fees. Again, that's not a sure thing, but I think when we get to that point, we'll cross that bridge. If we have to bring it back up to discussion, we can. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. You guys need to jump in here and tell me what you think, what you think we should do or not do.
I'm basically agree. I think we have to make sure that the employee requests that the penalties be removed.
I agree. I would like to have that in the motion to stipulate that in order for all this to take place, that they come to Angela and she is volunteered, will help them write the letter. If they have a penalty big enough, they want to try to get rid of it. Now, some of them may not have a $5 bill or something, and they may think it's not worth fooling with. But I feel that should probably be in the motion. I don't want somebody to overlook this and end up with a big penalty and then come to us and say, this is what you caused, if they can get a letter sent off and get it taken care of.
As far as the 95 to 110, that's probably at the top limit. But of course, they'd have to be able to prove, bring us back.
Paid receipt.
Yeah.
We just need to set a cap on it. Once we do this, I think we know if we set it at 95 or we set it at 110, tax preparers going to get whatever they can get. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Exactly, completely. I agree. It's good to go.
Somebody want to put this in the form of a motion, do what we want. I suggest go with the $95. I think that covers it. If you like to do go a few bucks higher than that, that's fine.
Well, let's cap it for 95 and receipt that says more, look at it correctly. I'd like one added sentence, maybe in the event that somebody has a very complex return or whatever, that if they're in a circumstance that's significantly higher because of their complexity, that we review that on an individual basis. I don't know who the people are, I don't know if they filed themselves, I don't know if they did, but possibly that we found a fixed cost that person, right?
Move the motion take forward with $95. Okay, we need to state the motion,
Yeah,
$95, with a receipt from the tax preparer brought to us, reimbursed. And with the,
Certified tax.
yeah, it has to be a certified tax preparer. And also that they agree to, if they so choose, to fight a penalty and interest, that they come to the HR office and let Angela help them draft a letter to the IRS to release that. So, that's everything for everybody.
Let me read what I've got.
Commissioner Pitts,
Let me read off what I got.
it's fine.
Commissioner Pitts put a motion that up to $95, well, the county will reimburse up to $95 with a receipt from a certified tax preparer. Also agreed employee agrees to come to HR to help draft a letter to the IRS for tax penalty help
If necessary.
if necessary.
Can I get a second?
I'll say.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
And again, I want to publicly thank you, Angela, for taking care of this. I know it was a lot of hard work for months to get it all organized. Appreciate what you did. I don't think we have anything for executive session. Any other business? Anybody?
I would like to say something. I had the situation to have to call 911 and have the rescue squad assist in helping my son, or probably he wouldn't be here today. We had a situation on our farm, and I want to compliment the 911 individual, I think it was Stephanie, but and then Grant Cable, his ambulance crew, and the rescue squad people for helping removing from an overflow pipe on our pond. But it was quite a strenuous time. I can't say enough about how they diligently worked to figure out a way to remove him, but nearly drowned as a result of it. So thank you, Grant. Pass that along to your staff.
I will give kudos to Grant, as always, on that, and, I mean, we have one of the best ambulance services you can find anywhere around for miles and miles and miles. And we appreciate the way you run that, take care of everything. We don't have to worry about it. Thank you.
And the rescue squad guys, I mean, they were prompt, they were diligent, and I will say Bumper Gurley and Tim Bowen specifically, and then the rest of the guys, they were unbelievable to get ice cold water.
Anything else? I get a motion to adjourn.
I'm ready.
Commissioner Pitts, Commissioner Toller,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Appreciate everyone coming. Hope you continue to come.